Well, hello. Welcome. Late Arrivals, episode 63. It's a little different voice here, bringing you into the show. Jake has been put in timeout for bullying children on Halo. So it's just me. We got Lou, as
Hi.
always. Got Connor this week. Connor finally returns after like a month or
Hi,
something. I
kids.
don't know. And we got Patrick. Wonderful Patrick.
Pleasure as always.
Well, we have some Ducks recaps, some pretty bad games to talk about. Can't wait to dive into those with everybody. Um, got some other news around the league, some Winter Classic stuff.
hmm
But yeah, before all that, while you're here, make sure you're following the Late Arrivals Pod everywhere on Twitter, Instagram. Follow and subscribe on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube, the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. Make sure you like all our videos, subscribe. You'll find our link tree everywhere on our socials, and you can subscribe, follow everywhere that LAP is. We are all over the goddamn place. But so yeah, let's dive in. Ducks Panthers. Ducks lost 2-1.
These last couple of
Um,
games have been so fun.
they
So much fun.
yeah, it's hasn't been the offense is gone. The offense that we were kind of raving about before, the fun times, the vibes, um, it's kind of gone. It's dried up a little bit, but they lost 2-1. In the notes I put that the team has seemed off a little bit. The passes aren't connecting. There just seems to be a lack of chemistry lately. I don't know I mean, I know Zegras is out. I mean, that
That
could be
might be a bigger loss than we realize.
I think it is. I think it is a
Zeus has been
much,
out.
yeah. I
Carlson sat 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Um, I don't necessarily want to say the last few games have looked like uninspired hockey. That's not necessarily the term I'm looking for, but I'm gonna use uninspired just for lack of a better term. But yeah,
Yeah.
it does kind of feel in a sense that the whole offensive flow we were seeing in the first month, 3 or 4 weeks of the season, it's kind of come not completely to a halt because it's not like we're getting shut out every single game or we're absolutely just starving for offense, but um, yeah, it does seem things are not connecting right now, like Chris said, and I think kind of what we're seeing right now, because I think it's safe to say the team's in a bit of a skid right now. And as much as we talked about this season being a very much a developmental season, a process implementation season, new coach, new system, new staff, some new players, some rookies, some guys that weren't here last year, that weren't here in the Aikens era. Um, we need to not get too ahead of ourselves and kind of I don't want to say like act like the world is burning, because I don't think anybody on Ducks Twitter or any of us are thinking that way, but we just need to remember that I think 3-4 game kind of skids like this for a team this young and a team with this new of a coaching staff are to be expected. Now, how much they're to be expected, I mean, I think that's a bit of a different conversation. But this is kind of the first one of those we're seeing after the really hot start. The couple comeback wins that we saw. Um, it as much and as frustrating the last 3-4 games may have been to watch. I'm dating back to the Flyers game, the frustrating Flyers loss at home. Up until Sunday night, but I think we just kind of need to keep in mind that as good as we looked at the start, this is a team that's still learning all these new systems and learning how to handle adversity. I think a skid like this, in the long run, is maybe going to be a little bit beneficial for the team, because all these guys are going to learn how to handle adversity in a way where the coach who's been here for the last 3 or 4 years would have just played all these games in just kind of a turtle way, or just kind of played for overtime, or not really just actively try to push to win in these games.
Yeah.
And I know I'm kind of rambling. I haven't been on a while, so I'm trying to get in my podcast rhythm again, so I apologize. But um Yeah, long story short, last couple of games have been frustrating. Does look a little bit of uninspired hockey. As I said, using that term for lack of a better term, it's not entirely what I mean, but yeah, it's a frustrating last few games, but in the long run, I think it's going to be good for this team to try to learn how to, how to come out of ruts like this and try to battle back, because we see teams like Edmonton, teams that not I'm not going to say have established a winning culture for them, just because we haven't necessarily seen the playoff success that I think people think that they can achieve, but they're a team that's expected to win, and we saw what their first month of the season looks like, and now it's looked like that they've ride the ship. So these skits can kind of happen to any team, right?
Mhm.
And I just I think it's not cause to freak out at all. So
No.
I
Yeah.
have a little theory of what's been going on. I think it kind of boils down to a couple things, and one could be the lack of Zegras and the inconsistent amount we see Carlson. Coupled that with the natural regression from that McTavish line.
Yeah.
I think when teams can, when you don't have this depth scoring that the Ducks haven't had for a while, and a lot of teams suffer from, I think it's easier to match up with. But the main thing I think is kind of fatigue at this point of the season, just because early in the season they're shot out of a cannon, new coach, new system, young players. We're kind of getting into the weeds of it, and the long stretch, and the system that Cronin and staff have implemented has been, or is, very up tempo, very, it takes a toll on the body. You're following a man around the defensive zone. Then when you get the puck, it's 4 guys up ice, and then it's everyone back, and it's just when and it works, it does. But when you have these young players who haven't played this much hockey in this condensed amount of time in their careers, then I think that contributes to, it just wears on your body and you're not used to it. So, when, if you're on the forecheck, you dump a puck in, you're a split second late. Well, lo and behold, then it's an easy breakout pass, and then you're going the other way again, and you're getting hemmed in your zone a little bit. And, that's when mistakes happen. And that's what I think, definitely in the Panthers game, it's two D zone coverage breakdowns. There's the one behind the net, and then there was the Ekman Larson goal. But it's kind of like that. It's like you lose focus for a second, and in a long season like this, and then a goal happens. Then when you don't have those legs on the offensive end, then you can't help out, on that side of the score sheet. So I think coupling those couple things may be contributing. That's my little theory right now.
Yeah, and especially in the last 3 or 4 years under Akins, you've been playing in, I almost said a system, but I'm going to correct myself and say you're playing in a systemless system where there's not a lot of direction. It's lulling, boring hockey. No one really has any assignments. No one really knows exactly what they're supposed to do, and that's what you've been doing the last 3 or 4 years. Kind of like Patrick just touched on. Your body's just not used to that, and so I completely agree with what Patrick just said there. I think we're just seeing a point in the season where this is all starting to catch up to these guys, and it'll be really interesting to see kind of what they do and how Cronin adjusts. I think I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. It might have been yesterday, but it looks like Cronin is shaking up the top 6 a little bit. I can't remember exactly what the lines Derek had in his article. That's Derek Lee over at Crash the Pond in the Sporting Tribune, who does a great job of following the team and covering. But yeah, it looks like Cronin is trying to shake up the top 6 a little bit. Patrick mentioned it. The natural regression of the Vetrano, Strome, McTavish line that was to be expected at some point, and we're starting to see that now. I should probably pull it up, but I think the top line, I think it was Killorn, Carlson in the middle on the top line, and then was it Vetrano ring, or was it Strome or Terry?
In practice, it was Terry. Yeah.
In practice, it was Terry. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how Cronin We're talking a lot about the players, but it'll be really interesting to see how Cronin kind of approaches these next couple games while they're in this kind of skid right now. Does he make the right amount of corrections? Does he overcorrect? Does he undercorrect? So that'll be something that I'm curious to see, because, like Patrick said, you're shot out of a cannon in the middle of the season or at the start of the season, you're winning all those exciting games, all those comebacks, you're starting to feel good, but, you're hitting your first kind of skid of the season. Where you're really having to battle back through some adversity. I think this will be a good test for not only the players, but for Cronin and his staff too.
Yeah, exactly. Because, man, that Panthers game, that was probably the first game of the season that I thought was actually like boring. Like I had a hard time like finishing that game. And then do we want to talk about the
I was gonna
third
say
goal?
is that even
It was a goal, but
Oh man.
it was a
it was a
goal.
goal.
The Ducks lost 2-2.
Yep.
They lost 2-2. Back in my day, they had ties.
Yeah, it's just it's like, I said it on Twitter the other night because I wasn't able to catch the first period of the Panthers game, but I saw the second and third. I try hard to never be the refs guy or the dude who's blaming the refs because yes, of course, referees have an impact on the game, not denying that at all, but it's it's just I find just that if that is somebody's go-to argument just all the time, I just find that incredibly lazy.
Yeah.
So I never try to be that way, but like, man, like just all around the league, not even against the Ducks, just the first half of the officiating has just been tough.
Yeah.
Tough. So, I don't know if it's going to improve. It's the NHL, not getting my hopes up, but yeah, there's been some, let's just say noteworthy, with the Ducks and, around the rest of the league as well this season. So it'll be very interesting to see how that continues throughout, as we get, like Patrick said, as we kind of get into the knee deep weeds part of the season.
Yeah. I just I can't even imagine Lou being there at the game.
I was frustrated. I was actually that was the first time in a while I was actually mad leaving the game.
Yeah,
Same.
So I was at work and I got home right when the second period started. So watched the entire second period, watched the first half of the third, and then I was walking out the door when Silfverberg scored. So I saw it on the TV and I'm like, okay, they're reviewing it. So I hop in my car, I throw on Duckstream. I was going to my friend's house, and who's like 5 or 10 minutes away. So I was able to watch the rest of the game when I got there. But so I heard I was listening to the entire radio feed from the second he scored or did not score until the official, the official call on the ice. And the entire time I'm just like, man, like I'm at red lights. I'm like looking at videos on Twitter. I'm like, that's a goal. But just like the longer, like every 30 seconds, I was like,
the more you knew it wasn't.
I'm like, they're not going to call this, aren't they? And like, I didn't want to believe it. But then the second Steve Carroll went down to the official and it said, the call on the ice stands, no goal. I was shocked, but I almost wasn't, just because I knew just the longer it took. I'm like, never a good sign. They're not.
Was the call on the ice a goal or no goal?
I think the call on the ice was a no goal, and I think
it was no goal. Yeah,
I think that was their justification in the video they posted the next day as well. Was it the call was no goal? It was it wasn't conclusive.
I know it wasn't challengeable,
so they stuck with their original call. And yeah, like Lou said, because the original call was no goal, there wasn't a challenge or something like that.
I think if the original call was goal, it would have stood. It's one of those where it's inconclusive either way. You know what I mean? So
and like, I'm not going to blame the initial call on the ice because in the heat of the moment, like you probably can't really tell at the full speed of play if that puck crossed the goal line or not. So like the original call, whatever, I get it. Like it's no referee is perfect, and I think anybody is misguided to think that any referee is going to get every single call right 100% of the time. But it was clear as day in the video. There's really not much else to say about it. It was just another blown call up in Toronto.
Can we get better cameras into the net?
Scott hosed. And what are you going to do? Unfortunately, that's a part of the NHL. And, unfortunately, the Ducks take the L there. But, just, one of one of those frustrating games where the Ducks were looking to battle back, and I thought they did a good job of fighting back. In like Chris said, in a not particularly exciting 60 minutes of play, but I thought they kind of they did what they could, and they scored for all we know. And just we're not giving the right call, but
yeah. And like Lou said, better cameras would be nice.
Maybe like a tracker in the puck or something.
Just knowing how much the NHL as a whole is worth.
Do something like VAR. Like not exactly VAR, but something like it.
Tracker on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Only on replays.
Yeah. So Ducks Panthers, that was a 2-1 loss.
Panthers are good though.
Panthers are good. Yeah. I mean, they were in
I
the
think
cup
we
last
underrated
year,
them
so.
some.
But Ducks Blues, one that I thought for sure the Ducks, I thought going into it, I felt good. I mean, I feel like as a team right now, I personally feel like the Ducks are better than the Blues. So I thought for sure they would take care of business, but it was yet another game where they looked lost. They lose 3-1. Lots of penalties. I
Yep.
said I put in the notes that there was a lack of offense and juice. Lack of juice. There's just no juice. McTavish did have a very nice goal though. His goal was pretty sick. That was enjoyable, and then that was pretty much it on my end with the Blues game.
Man, he's taking a lot of penalties still though.
McTavish, yeah.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of penalties still.
I think the penalty situation is also kind of correlated to the system as well, just because you're running around the zone for however long and you're man on man and you're on this guy who has the puck for so long and he doesn't have options because, the rest of his teammates are covered and he cuts back again. You're going to get a stick in, you're going to get a hand in. Yeah. It's just going to happen. And you got to just kind of, I don't know, be more clever about it or just move your feet a little bit more. But again, that's easier said than done when you're, now 20 games into this and, you're a young player, Lacombe, McTavish, Minchikov, all these guys. And, you're gonna get a stick in because you're a step behind or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it's just something we're going to have to deal with right now and hopefully clean up. But I mean, and that the McTavish goal was really nice too. I mean, from all three forwards, I think that was the one where Max Jones is in on the forecheck and does what he does great, which is be like a golden retriever where you say, "Hey, go get the puck, boy," and then you just send him off after the defenseman, and he did his job. And then Killorn makes a nice little touch to McTavish, and McTavish, finishes like he does. So I like that a lot. But I think clean up the penalties for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some great hands, like you said, from McTavish at the front of the net right there to to be able to roof that up on the backhand. And you mentioned Max Jones. I mean, I will say, as like I wouldn't call myself a Max Jones defender, but
I have been for sure. Like I like Max Jones. He gives a ton of effort, but he just kind of malfunctions a lot.
Yeah, I can appreciate what he brings or what he tries to bring for sure. But I will say, probably didn't have the best start to the year, I'd say, but I will say, in the last week, last couple games, I will say, I feel
looked a little bit better. Yeah,
he's looked a lot like I mean, he's always energized, but it looks like he's got another little bit of a pep in his step. Has been looked like to me at least that he's, getting to the right spots a little bit more. So, hopefully that's something that continues for Max. I know there's a whole topic of, who's going to be the waiver drop when Zegras eventually comes back in the next week or two, whether it's Johnston, whether it's Jones, or whether it's Bo Grew. It's probably going to, I'd say it's probably safe money that's going to be one of those three guys. So, if Mac Jones wants to keep his spot right now, I mean, I feel like he's done a good job the last couple games. So it'll be curious to see if he continues to look better. Cause I think,
Ross Johnston's been scratched the last few games, I think.
Yeah, so I think right now I would lean.
It might be him. That's.
I think the team. I think the team and I think the front office likes Jones, and I can totally see why. So I think it's really going to have to take a disaster class to put it in footy terms from Jones for the next week or so. But I'd say he's playing his spot, or I'd say he's played to keep his spot right now in the lineup. So it'll be curious to see what happens when Zegras comes back.
I think when Jones is at his best is when he touches the puck as little as possible. So if you put him on a line where he doesn't have to do that, then I think you're money. And then you just say, hey, go be an F1, go be disruptive, and maybe hopefully win a battle and then get to the front of the net. And that is it. Like, that's your job, bud.
Yeah.
Cause chaos. We're taking the Hurricanes hashtag. Cause chaos.
It kind of reminds me, and not to say that Max Jones is as skilled as him, but it kind of reminds me, when they used to throw, kind of an energy guy like that on the Getzlaf and Perry line. And I think back to, when they had Bolesky, a guy play with Getzlaf and Perry, just a guy that, like Patrick just said, plays with energy, plays like his hair's on fire, and then can just get to the front of the net, not particularly stellar with the puck, but, can chip in here and there. I think Bolesky brought a little bit more of a goal scoring touch than Max Jones does, but, it's kind of in the same vein there. And it kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, like Patrick said, if Max Jones is able to just keep his game simple, and like Patrick said, touch the puck as least as possible and not have to be the guy in the line who has to handle the puck, or, the guy that has to transition it, the guy that gains zone entries. I think, he can be a mainstay in the lineup. So, and I like Max Jones. He's a character. I love the energy. I love the vibe he brings. So I would like to see him, continue to play his way into the roster and have him stay.
100%.
John Gibson, though, he's continuing his good play.
Yeah,
my guy.
Yeah, he's still
Keeping
looking pretty
him in,
good, man.
Dostal's backup has looked really good.
I knew you were gonna.
I will say I didn't like the second goal the Blues scored. It was the cross ice.
Yeah, that was a rough one. Yep.
Like, you got to get a stick on that. If it's he's not that big of a shooting threat if he's on his backhand at the left dot. So you can be square to him, but if that puck comes across your crease, you got to get a stick on it. He's sitting there on the back post. Like, Fowler should have been there maybe, but it was such a bang like shift from the left side to the right side that maybe Fowler was a step behind, but Gibson's got to get a stick on that. And that's one of the only soft goals I think he's given up all season. I think he's been really good this year, and
is that really one nice in that see. Goal in Vegas, that breakaway goal in Vegas where he just gave up pretty much? That's like the only other bad goal I could think of.
There was one against Boston. I didn't mind the Vegas one just because no one's stopping that. He could have given more effort, but even if he does, I don't think he stops that goal.
You talking about the Eichel one?
No, there was like another
there
one.
There was a 2-on-1.
Like...
Oh yeah. Okay, I was at the game, so I'm trying to think about which one.
Gibson's save percentage is a .927 currently.
Yeah, I mean,
damn.
Look, man, I will say, I'm self-admittedly, definitely a little bit more critical of Gibson than I think anyone on the pod tonight, but I mean, he's looked great. He's looked great. It's like, it was never a situation where, for me at least, being a little bit more critical of him, where if John Gibson continued to play bad, it wasn't a situation where I was going to be like, oh, like, yeah, I'm taking victory laps because one of our goalies is playing like shit. Like, no, like I'm more than happy to eat some crow here. Like, he's looked fantastic. I think he looks like he has a little bit more energy. It's not exactly what I wanted to say, but
a real system that is in front of him now.
Yeah, a real system. He looks,
and he hasn't played as much.
Yeah, he looks happy to play again. Yeah, and I think that as well, not having to carry so much of the load again, which I mean, we all know how much he's had to play in the last 3, 4, 5 seasons, and I think the more regular rest is good for him. Just with his injury history, I think he's able to just kind of lay low and
for sure
do what he has to do, and not know that he needs to be the guy every single freaking night like he's had to be the last couple of years. So yeah, I mean, he's looked great, and if he continues to play great, that's a positive thing. I mean, I think just going into the season, I was looking for something like this from Gibson. Show us who you were 3 or 4 years ago, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, and I think he's kind of starting to show that again. So yeah, I mean, Gibby's looking like Gibby again, and that's a good thing for the Ducks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think the talent has ever left. Obviously, it's just when you are playing, like you said, as much as you are, and then your defense is just breaking down as often as it did in the last couple 4 years. Like you're giving up constant cross ice seam passes and
40
tips
plus,
and
40 plus
screens and
shots a night, like
40 plus shots a night, and your defense isn't clearing out the front and giving up like just rebounds, breakaways, all that stuff. It's your numbers are going to suck. I don't think like if you put any goalie in Gibson's situation, I don't know how much better they're going to fare, to be honest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was going to say Dostal's save percentage still 893 because I think when we talked about it last week, I don't think he's gotten a start since then. So he hasn't been able to really redeem himself for the last. He's had like what two games that are kind of meh, 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah, but that's fine. He's a rookie goalie, and
exactly.
I think this is exactly what you wanted. Like he wasn't ready to take the reins completely, but I like having I called it a 1A 1B, like do a 55-45 split, and I think that's the way to go from here on out. And
yeah,
he probably plays tomorrow.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, just based on how it's been going,
and then have Gibson.
He probably gets
the
to
Kings.
I hope so. Yeah,
we got. I think 3 games in the next 5 days starting tomorrow. I mean, I think it's a safe bet that Dostal plays at least one of them. So hopefully he can kind of get back on the schneid. After Chris said,
he's gonna shut out the Habs tomorrow. You hear that, Felix?
Felix is gonna be eating a hat.
Oh yeah, eating a hat, delicious. Hopefully it's a nice sweaty one.
Yeah, but we got my favorite game of the year coming up, the Black Friday matinee game. It's always my favorite game of the year. Although I'm still not 100% sure if I'm going, but it's still my favorite.
It's my favorite game of the year. Don't know if I'm going.
Favorite game. Well, there's some family.
No, you're fine.
That I might have to go to instead, but trying to go if I can. But for anybody that goes to the Black Friday game, they're in for a treat. It's always fun. It's a different vibe, and everyone's in a good mood because of the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in the chat, really quick, Savannah Hannah said, "I'm clipping this," and I think she was talking about Connor talking about Gibson, the Gibson stuff. So
in a good way.
No, I mean, I got. Oh no, the guy I was critical of playing well. Oh no. Oh,
all right. All right. Since we're talking about the Black Friday game, let's get to our what's on tap here. Or what's on tap.
Chris, did I?
No, that was actually
a little bit out of myself there. Sorry.
No, that was actually perfect.
I'm not accustomed to the new sponsor.
No, you're good.
So sorry.
Let's get to our what's on tap segment, brought to you by Noble Ale Works. Go hang out at Noble before or after any Ducks game. Even if they're on the road, you can go watch the game there. If you mention late arrivals when you get a beer or close your tab, you get 10% off. That's on game days, home or away. Also, if you're going to a Ducks game and you stop at Noble beforehand, they have free game parking for all Ducks games. So go check them out. Have you guys been recently or no?
I have not. No,
I went before the home opener. That was the last time I was at Noble. But
okay.
But I mean, can't say enough good things about Noble. It's a great pregame spot. It's a great spot just to go park before the game. I mean, it's a short, nice walk. Have as many beers as you want before the game, and then you got a nice little brisk walk to walk the beers off. Before you maybe go have a couple more inside, or albeit a couple more expensive ones inside. But can't say enough good things about Noble. I think when I was there at the home opener, I think I had their new it was either their Fest beer, which is like the kind of Christmas season.
I was about to
Fest, or was there Oktoberfest? It was one of those two. I don't remember. Well, I mean, shit, it might have been both. But
I was gonna say they on their Instagram they posted 2 new releases today. One being a California double. It's an IPA, hazy IPA. And then they came out with a let's see, where is it? It's a festive collaboration with Tiki Tony. It's a Mai Tai seltzer.
The Mele Kamikimaka Mai Tai.
There you
Did
go.
I say that right?
No, I don't. There you go. Lou said it. Lou knocked that one out of the park. Sounds delicious.
Got orange, pineapple, lime, and a hint of cinnamon.
Hint of cinnamon, huh?
Sounds pretty good.
11%.
Cinnamon, man. I'm telling you.
11%. Oh boy. have a pretzel before you have that one.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't drink strong beer anymore. Really, it's becoming a problem.
Yeah,
I can, but it's got to be like if I have anything more than like an 8%, like I ask if they have like one of the smaller kind of goblet glasses, not like a full. Like it's just. I love them. I enjoy them, but it's just it's. I want to enjoy more beers throughout the night, so I don't want to put myself under after just one.
So yeah, that's Noble. Go check them out in Anaheim, right around the corner from Honda Center.
And see our new flag. Is it there yet?
I don't know actually. Might
Soon.
be. Should be soon.
I know we're on the screen.
Soon.
We are on the screen.
At least we're on the screen.
So yeah. Yeah, go ahead and mention late arrivals. Get
when Jake's done being on timeout.
Yeah.
It might appear.
Yeah. So upcoming games we got tomorrow. If we're recording this on Tuesday night. If you're listening to this and it's already Wednesday, the game is tonight. What are you waiting for? Get your tickets. The Canadians are in town.
The Sicard Derby.
Sicard Derby. But yeah, Wednesday versus the Canadians. We got Black Friday game against the Kings. And then Sunday, and then next Tuesday, they're on the road. Sunday, they're in Edmonton. Tuesday, they're in Vancouver. Do we want to do any predictions here for these 4 games?
Yeah, against the Habs, the Ducks are going to win 20 million to 2.
I thought it was going to be a shutout.
Or 20 million to 0. Sorry.
I'm feeling a bounce back, feel good game tomorrow. I'll say 5-2 Ducks. Okay. Black Friday, I will say, it's a tough one. That's going to be a good game. Oof.
Kings are on fire right now. It's tough.
Oh boy. I'll say 4-3 Kings in overtime. And what's the Sunday game?
Edmonton.
Well,
the Oilers too, man. They're in a weird spot right now, so
I'll go same score, but 4-3 Edmonton in regulation.
Okay.
And then Vancouver. I think you know what? I think we win that one. I'll say 4-2 Ducks over Vancouver.
All right. Lou, you said for the Montreal game 20 million to 0 Ducks?
Yeah, but my real answer is probably like let's go 5-2.
5-2.
So 20 million to nothing. So Lou's taking the over.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. The Kings game, Lewis?
Just knowing how they play on Black Friday. Go 5-3 Kings. Sadly.
Okay.
Then Oilers and then Canucks.
Oh.
Both on the road.
Probably like 4-2 Edmonton. And then I think Ducks win 3-2 in Vancouver in overtime.
Oh, we're in Edmonton. Oh, I thought we were at home.
No.
Okay. I'll keep my same score.
Okay. Patrick, you want to run through yours?
Yeah, 4-1 against the Habs. Dostal stops 32 shots.
32.
Yeah. I say it's a 4-2 loss against the Kings with an empty. Edmonton is
Is Edmonton winning more now?
Nah.
Not really. Edmonton 4-3 OT loss. Vancouver 3-2 OT loss.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Montreal. I say we'll beat Montreal 3-2 in regulation. Kings. Hate saying this, but I feel like we lose to the Kings.
I never want to predict a Kings win against the Ducks, but
yeah,
they're streaking.
Kings are good.
They're streaking right now.
I'm gonna say the Kings beat us 5-2. Oilers.
Byfield.
Chris is gonna go raid shopping on Black Friday night.
Raid shopping. gonna be on the news. I'm the one starting fights in line for a TV. All right, Oilers game. I say the Ducks are gonna win that one. 3-2 in OT.
Ooh, 3. Okay, in Edmonton. Okay,
and then in Vancouver, I say we lose 3-2 in OT.
Okay. I will say
right.
that for the Black Friday game. So remember how the Black Friday game for like 10 plus years was
It was
always
just Chicago.
always Ducks Blackhawks, always Ducks Blackhawks, and then for the last couple of years, for whatever reason, it's been the Sens.
Yeah.
Now it's
And Winnipeg was thrown in there.
and now it's the Kings. Can we just
keep it the Kings? Keep it the Kings.
Yeah, can we just keep it as Ducks Kings Black Friday?
That's a perfect Black Friday
I
game.
feel like that would be so much fun.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That's
Keep
the
it
perfect.
on the center, like it's always been, always at home on Black Friday. I don't know how the Ducks got that, but yeah, my petition is officially every Black Friday from going forward, starting this year, Ducks Kings in Anaheim on Black Friday.
I like it.
Yeah. Reignite.
That's a perfect game for it.
The rivalry's always been there, but now both teams are good / better, a little bit more competitive now. So let's ramp this thing up again. I want to see blood.
So in the chat here is the Edmonton game, the Gibby Showcase, game.
There's no way Gibson doesn't have Edmonton on his no trade.
Well, that's why we need Oilers fans to really like shower Gibson with support, so he waves it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, most players don't have Canadian teams on their list, huh?
No.
Oh, yeah. Lou, are you?
Does Mason McTavish pass the 2030 Stanley Cup to Damian Clara?
Clara, beautiful. Say, Lou, are you in the Crash the Pond podcast?
A little bit, yeah.
You double podcasting? Wow, Lou's two-timing us.
You double dipping?
I'm not. They're muted though.
Double dipping. No more Thirsty Thursday. It's Thirsty Tuesday. Lou is
Jake
parched.
said hi, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Other Jake.
The other Jake. Crash the Pond Jake.
What's up, Rudolph?
All right, so those are our predictions. Hopefully we get them right. We usually aren't right. So
all of us are
hopefully we get them right.
All of us are going to be right somehow. Somehow all of us are.
Yeah.
We're all going 4-0.
I hope I'm wrong. Especially on the Kings game.
Yeah. Hope so. Maybe they'll surprise us. Who knows?
We're all 4-0.
But if you want to go to the Habs game Wednesday night, if you want to go to the Black Friday game, which is like a 12:30 start, right? I think it's like 12:30.
It's 12:30, not 1.
12:30? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it's 1:30, 1:30 for me. So I'm a mountain guy now. So
right.
But yeah, if you want to go to the Canadiens game on Wednesday or the Kings game on Friday, we have partnered with our best buds over at 714 Tickets. If you're a Ducks fan, you definitely know who they are. They're right across the street from Honda Center. They can get you deals on tickets just by listening to us. So if you want to go to any of these Ducks games, go on their website or just go on their website, use code LAP at checkout. You get 10% off your order. Doesn't have to be just Ducks games. We talk about this all the time. It could be literally whatever they're selling on 714tickets.com. Just use our code, all caps, LAP at checkout, 10% off your order. Get yourself to some of these games and see how it goes. The Canadiens game, I'm a little more excited for than the Kings game right now, just because Kings games are just hard to deal with. It's a lot to deal with, and I'm not even there. Like it's nuts. The hatred between the two teams, and
there's Crash the Pond hat eating on the line tomorrow night too.
That is true.
One of Jake or Felix is going to eat a hat on.
I'm more locked in tomorrow.
Next week's Crash the Pond, so make sure you're watching tomorrow. If you want to see it unfold, hit up 714 Tickets and get your tickets for tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, the Ducks win tomorrow.
You think Felix seasons his hats? What kind of seasons does he put on his hat?
I think he puts like just pepper, salt and pepper.
Oh, at least French. He probably dips it in mayonnaise.
Yeah, I was going to say mayonnaise.
Montreal steak seasoning.
Yes. Yep, that'll probably be it right there. There you go.
Ooh, or maybe like some steak frites. So there's like a peppercorn sauce.
Whatever works, honestly.
Whatever helps them get it down.
Yeah. But yeah, that could be fun. So if the Ducks win tomorrow against the Canadians, just tweet Felix Sicard on Twitter. Nothing but like pictures of hats.
Mm-hmm.
See how that goes. But anyway, our other pals.
Well, it's also been a little bit since the last one. So I predict in the next 4 games we get another Frank Petrano hat trick.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Last one, and that's apparently a theme this year, so he's due.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I agree. But yeah, our other buddies, shifthockey.com. Go on their website.
People.
You use code LAP10, all caps LAP, then the number 10, get 10% off your order. They have hockey sticks, they got gloves, they got hoodies, they got all kinds of apparel. Go check them out, get lost on their website. It's very nice. Lou loves the cream stuff. He's always raving about it. He just loves the cream. I don't know what else to say about it because he's a big creamer. Anyway.
Yep.
Lap 10, 10% off. Go get a new hockey stick. You're in like men's league or something, you do beer league, or even if your kid's playing or something, go grab a new hockey stick. They're much cheaper than like CCM and Warrior and True Hockey, all that stuff. Shift hockey's the way to go.
Starting to get colder, go get yourself a cool beanie.
Yeah.
Cool beanies. Yeah.
I mean, it's like outdoor rink season almost, right? So, you get the nice Shift hockey stick, lace up your skates, get on the pond. If you're in Minnesota or somewhere in Canada, New England even, have a nice cream colored Shift hockey beanie while you're on the pond. Everyone's gonna be asking where you got it and how you got such a great deal on it. And it's lap 10% off.
Yep.
But all right.
That easy, folks.
All right, let's move on to some NHL stuff here. Did you guys see the
ITR?
ITR?
We do that. Do that in the closing.
Oh, we doing?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Come on, Lou. I'm the rookie here.
I don't know. Continue.
Do you guys see the Winter Classic sweaters? I'll say sweaters for Lou. I almost said jerseys.
I did. I like Seattle's.
I do like Seattle's.
I really like Seattle. Vegas. I mean, I'm never gonna like a Vegas.
Vegas. What the hell is that, bro?
It's not that bad. Like, I also don't know what they could do for like a jersey that's supposed to be old school for them. Just because nothing.
We need to see the full uniform for them.
Yeah, nothing they do is in like an old school way. So like, I kind of expect them to go against the grain a little bit, but like it's not the worst thing they've ever done. It's not my favorite. Yeah. It's okay.
AEW and Utah Jazz broke them. Like,
I really like Seattle's. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Seattle. I'll be curious to see what color the pants and gloves are. I'll be curious to see if they're like the same colors, that cream stripe in the middle, or if they're kind of like what Edmonton did with the darker brown.
Yeah.
I think either way, I think those are going to look really cool on the ice. I think the red logo with the navy, the cream, and the I think I'm call it like seafoam green or like the aqua.
Yeah,
it's a nice contrast. Really makes that S pop.
But
yeah, I like Seattle's.
I love it. It looks like an old like 1920s football jersey. I think it looks really cool. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Vegas,
Seattle, right?
It's in Seattle. Yeah.
Seattle. Okay.
Seahawks Stadium, right? Lumen Field or something.
The baseball stadium.
Mariners.
Yeah, it's the Mariners.
It's at T-Mobile Park.
T-Mobile Park. That's right.
Okay, it's Safeco Field to me.
Safeco. Yeah, it's still Safeco to me.
Safeco. I've been to Safeco.
I think Greg Wyshynski tweeted that the Vegas logo looks like a double middle finger.
Like, oh my god, it kind of does.
It kind of looks like this.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, it's true. I never saw it that way.
Yeah, if you haven't seen these jerseys yet.
I mean, if that was the intention, that's very on brand for Vegas, or that's like something the Hurricanes would do too.
Yeah, true.
Hiding a middle finger in their logo.
If you haven't seen the Winter Classic looks yet, Chris Creamer has them on his Twitter and his website. Hockeylogos.net, I believe. No, not hockey logos, sportslogos.net. And Greg Wyshynski, I believe, tweeted out. So it's everywhere. Just it's so easy to find. Seattle's definitely rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vegas, I'm scared that the Vegas ones are gonna have like gold pants.
I feel like everything's gonna be white. Like everything is.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I can see
I could
that.
see them
Yeah.
going like tan or something.
What? Yeah, I can see tan.
Oh, we'll see.
Like I get what they try to do with the V being like swords and stuff, but I kind of wish they took on like instead of trying to be like like the whole Winter Classic vibe is to be like a throwback to like the franchise's roots, like way in the beginning, or like old, really old looking, old school jerseys, old school logos. Since Vegas doesn't have that, I mean Seattle doesn't either, but I mean I guess they got it from the Metropolitans, which just works really well. Um, since Vegas doesn't really have that, I kind of wish they took on. I don't know how it would look on a jersey, on a hockey jersey, but like a neon Vegas style, like how the old neon signs looked like back in the day. If they did something like that
Kind of
as a
like their
logo,
reverse retro one.
kinda. Um, I don't know. I don't really know how it would look, but something along the lines like that, like how you went to the neon sign thing in Vegas, Lou. What is it?
Oh yeah.
Like take inspiration
graveyard.
from like yeah, the graveyard thing. Like take
Yeah,
inspiration
yeah,
from like
yeah.
that or something. It'd be kind of cool. I mean, like I'm not saying the jersey has to glow or anything, but like have like an old style logo
Yeah.
like that and that. Yeah, something like that would have been cool. But anyway, let's move on to the Patrick Laine situation. So he was scratched. He was scratched last game. And he quote I think he said that it was the most embarrassing thing that has happened in his hockey career. So thoughts on that?
And from Pascal Vincent's point of view, like I understand, I've been a head coach that used to be an assistant coach with that same group, and it is tough to kind of gain the room because you're going from a position where you're kind of these guys' buddies. As an assistant coach, you're kind of the guy they can turn to, their friend, kind of the mediator between them and the head coach. And then all of a sudden you're thrust into the position of being a head coach.
Yeah.
And now you have to gain their respect. And I guess his big weapon is to bench players. I don't know if that's really the proper thing to do instead of just like trying to, I don't know, like Laine was playing center and then you bench him for not playing well. Why don't you just put him back on the wing for a little bit and see if that works? Like benching should be, in my opinion, like a last ditch effort, unless he's doing something completely against what you are preaching. Then I think that should be a last ditch effort. And
I agree. Yeah.
Like the Blue Jackets seem to be in like a spiral right now with this kind of stuff. Like I know he benched like Severson and he benched Gaudreau and now Laine. And I don't know. Laine seems like the guy who wouldn't respond to that. I don't know him personally, but wouldn't respond to that proper, like the way someone else would. Like I just, each player should, like, you have to be calculated when you do stuff like this, especially to a star player like Laine. So
yeah. I mean, we have a question later regarding a possible trade. So maybe we can get into that in a little bit, but
is 29 available?
29. Who last wore 29 in Anaheim? Was
Christian Juice?
Was it? I was gonna say Chris Stewart, but I think it is Juice.
I think it is Juice.
Yeah.
Some random wore it like in the last 2 or 3 years. But
who's Juice?
Christian Juice.
Juice
Blues.
His last name is literally like Juice, but it's like DJOOS.
Yeah.
I blocked out that era of Ducks hockey from my mind, so
you missed out, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna give a quick shout out. The Ducks did something pretty cool for one of our friends' family members.
Oh yeah.
At the last game.
Oh yeah.
They honored Patrick O'Donnell. That's our good friend Annie's brother.
Shout out Patty.
Who is battling an aggressive form of brain cancer. So shout out to Patty. You know, it's Hockey Fights Cancer Month and everything. So love that he got that recognition from the Ducks. It was really cool. Great video. I think they tweeted out the whole video and everything. And I love how like much of a connection he has with Dostal. Like him and Dostal are like really close. It's really cool to see.
I like meeting for lunch and stuff. Yeah.
It's great. Like it was really cool to see the Ducks do that. So yeah, once again, shout out to Patty O'Donnell.
Yep.
How about Simone Dupre? He's playing in the EIHL now for the
what?
Nottingham Panthers. The
Okay.
English league.
Good for Dupre, man. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I mean, what could have been at the NHL level? I mean, unfortunately, he was plagued by a couple concussions, but I mean, his time in Anaheim, he was fantastic playing with Cam Fowler. But
I didn't know he was 32 already.
Good to see him get, another chance to extend his career overseas.
That was one of Bob Murray's best trades. Lovejoy for Dupre.
100%.
Oh my God. And he was so good with Cam Fowler. I thought they were going to like just tear the league apart for a decade. And unfortunately,
that pairing was
injuries. Yeah.
But yeah. I didn't know he was 32. That kind of shocked me. For some reason, I thought he was maybe.
I think in his first season with the Ducks, he was only like 23 or 24, which is kind of insane. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good for him. Hopefully he plays well overseas. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the NHL news segment there. It's very weird that there are no games tonight, and then there are 14 tomorrow, and then of course there are none on Thanksgiving, and then Friday there's another 15. So some craziness with the schedule. Jeff Merrick kind of gave some clarity today as to why there were no games, but just venues not being available tonight. There were like 3 different ones, and 2 of them are Canadian, and the Canadian teams are like in the States right now or something, for whatever he said. But yeah, let's get to questions.
Oh,
already? Dang, flying by.
Yeah, shorter episode.
Thanks, or as my aunt says, T Gibbs. T Gibbs.
Sure.
Yeah, because we just recorded last week and released our latest episode on Friday, so not a ton has happened. And thanks to Turkey Tom paying a visit, we had to record a little earlier this week. But the first one,
Turkey Tom,
from Turkey Tom.
Stop questioning.
Just
Turkey what Tom. Said. You're gonna enjoy him on Thursday. You'll know who Turkey Tom is.
I'm not. I'm gonna have lasagna for Thanksgiving.
That's actually kind of a banger. That's actually kind of a banger decision.
I'm over turkey. I think turkey is just kind of.
It's not the greatest. It's not.
No.
I am giving a rare agreement to a Lou food take. I think. Really quick, if I had my ideal Thanksgiving where like I could pick everything, I'm having all the normal Thanksgiving sides. I think they're all great, but I'm replacing turkey and ham with like tri-tip and barbecue ribs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that would be so much. I think it all still pairs well with the Thanksgiving stuff. I think that's the elite meal right there.
Patrick, thoughts on turkey?
I think Thanksgiving's about the sides, and you kind of need a bland meat for that. So that's my view.
Okay.
I think having so much flavor in like barbecue stuff with like cranberry sauce is a little weird. No offense, Connor, but
I'm sorry.
I don't love turkey. There's a like if turkey was so good, we would eat it more than just once a year on Thanksgiving. So
true.
But I think it's like a vehicle for all the other good shit.
It's good on sandwiches, but
even then, I've never been a turkey sandwich guy.
Really, I do like the leftover.
I'll never eat it. I'll eat it if it's the only thing available, or if like Patrick on Thanksgiving, like I'm gonna have turkey because I want some protein, and that's kind of the only protein there.
I can't remember the last time I had a turkey sandwich.
It's not my favorite.
I do like the leftover turkey from Thanksgiving though, and having it on a sandwich. That's actually pretty good. Adding like some stuffing to the sandwich. Yeah. That's pretty delicious, not gonna lie. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Questions, baby.
First question from our pal Richie. What's a realistic trade for Laine? I'm thinking Jones, Leno, and a third could do it with no retention. What do you think?
Who wants it? I'll take it.
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
Here's the thing. So Columbus, Laine is at his lowest possible value he's ever been at, ever will be at. And I think Columbus knows that. So if you want to pry him out of there, like they have no reason to trade him. So you need to give them a reason, in my opinion. I know I went back and forth a little bit with Rudolph about this, but so he's got 3 years left, or 2 years left after this one at 8.7 mil per season. But like if I'm Columbus, like again, you have no reason to trade him. So I think it's going to take a first to pry him out of there. And then probably a roster player and maybe like a lower prospect. I threw out maybe like a protected first and Bogru, and maybe someone like a defenseman like Ian Moore's rights, or maybe Tyson Hines, someone like that. And I think that can get it done, to be honest. And I think that's kind of a bargain for a guy who he has health issues. He's been at near point per game pace the last 2 years, though, despite the health issues. So I think it's something like 108 points in 111 games. So he's a productive player, a proven productive player, and he's exactly what the team needs. They need a guy who can finish right now, and he could pair so well with Zegras or Carlson or McTavish or any combination of those guys. And I think, he's only 25 years old in his prime. And I think being in a low pressure environment with a coach who seems to he can get the best out of these kind of players, I think it's a perfect fit. So I would completely go after him if I were Verbeek. But again, I think if you're Columbus, you need a reason to get rid of him, or you need a reason to trade him right now. Otherwise, just hold on to him until the offseason, when a lot of teams have a lot more money and the cap is going to go up. So
yeah,
that's my opinion on it. So a first, a roster player with potential, and then possibly a prospect. Yeah. What do you guys think?
You rarely get the opportunity to buy low on a guy with potential elite goal scoring capabilities who was a second overall pick. Not even. Like Patrick said, injuries aside, it's he's at the lowest value he's ever been, and he will probably ever be at. And the Ducks just lack a pure shooter. I think Troy Terry is maybe your closest thing to that. Frank Vetrano as well, but like a guy with just elite capabilities like Patrick Laine has shown in spurts that he has. I think it's the perfect opportunity to, actually go and try to improve the team. Now, it's not a move you're making to you're obviously not blowing up the prospect pool for a guy like this. You're not, thankfully the Ducks are in a great cap situation the next couple of years where, you may look at that Patrick Laine. I think it's what is it, 8.2 or 8.7?
8.7.
8.7. Yeah. You may look at that 8.7 and be like, whoa, we'll be a little turned off by that for a second. But, we're in a great cap situation right now. It's only 2 more years. So if it really doesn't work out, then it's like, okay, you just kind of eat it for 2 more years, and then we'll do what we got to do in 2025, 2026, whatever. We'll handle that when we get there. But I'm with Patrick here. If the deal is right, and look, I know we're all attached to these guys in our prospect pool, some more than others, but at some point the Ducks are going to get to a point where, we got to maybe start moving a couple of these guys to try to actively improve the roster. Like, that's going to need to happen. Like, not every single one of these guys is going to be making up. This isn't 2008 Barcelona where like every single one of those guys came up through the youth academy program and it's just all Barcelona guys. It's like the lineup in the next 5 years is not just going to be all Ducks guys and all Ducks prospects and guys that have been here. If the deal is, it sounds like a basic answer, but if the deal is right for Patrick Laine, is at his lowest value, I'm in. I'm totally in. Why not?
I'll throw out some 2 mock trades here. This is from the Pond Press on Instagram. Good follow. Go follow this account. Now, I don't know if these mock trades are theirs. So apologies to whoever runs the Pond Press I don't know if this is yours or not, but here's the first one. Patrick Laine to the Ducks, to the Blue Jackets. Adam Henrique with 50% retained, a 2024 second, and Jacob Perreault.
Oh, I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Of course. But if you're Columbus, why would you do that?
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the right. Yeah.
Like, are you sure Columbus just isn't hanging up at that? That's kind of the Ducks. You 100%. That's offered to you. you take it home to the bank and run.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, like I don't see it. Columbus is going to need a little bit more of a sweetener. Like if we're taking Patrick Laine deal, unfortunately, there might be a Tristan Leno in that deal.
I think if
start with that, right?
If Columbus was closer to the cap, right now they have $5 million cap space. They're obviously the cap is going up. You add another 4 to that, plus their Roslovic is coming off their books. You add another 4 to that. They're just not in a bad cap situation, so they have no reason not to hang on to him and see him through this like tough time, unless he's requested a trade. And you have to offer something that they want. I mean, a second is fine. Henrique is just offset cap, I'm guessing, and then Perot, I don't know if is enough juice to get him out.
Yeah.
So Connor brought up Leno. That's in the second mock. It's Leno, a 2024 second that we got from Boston, and then Brock McGinn. So like, I don't know if maybe between the two, if you can get it done by maybe somehow combining both of them. Not obviously not all of them, but maybe like pieces of both. Maybe Tristan Leno is in there, and maybe Henrique, and then the second. Not McGinn, not Perot. I don't know if that would do it, but
I mean, if either of those trades are brought to us as the Ducks, proposed to us by Columbus, I'm doing both.
100%. 100%.
Yes, please.
I think the Leno package gets you a little bit closer. I'm just not sure if it's there for Columbus incentive wise. It might be a little bit more on the surface than Ducks fans may want to do, but this is just kind of, it's one of those moves that a team in the Ducks situation kind of, I don't know the exact words I'm trying to say to lead me to this point, but it's one of those moves where, you look for lack of a better term, to try to really improve the roster, to help, not necessarily help. Like, I don't think you're looking at bringing in Patrick Laine and saying, oh, the Ducks are an immediate contender. Like, I don't think that's the deal. You're buying a guy at his lowest value and hope that he gets you a positive ROI and he can get back to his form that we know he can be. Right. So, yeah. But again, like Patrick said, and like we've been saying, Columbus still has all their leverage for all intents and purposes. They haven't lost any leverage. It's not, like Patrick said, he's not demanding a trade. He's not sitting out, he's not holding out. It's not a situation like that. So it's not like, where we can just try to go in and fleece Columbus out from under their nose. It's going to be, we're probably, if we are trading for Patrick Laine, we're probably going to part with a piece or two that's going to be a little bit tough to go see, or a little bit tough to see go. But it's a move that you make to actually actively help improve a team on a come up, improve a team on the come up, and to get you closer to that contender potential.
Yeah, and it's not just getting Laine. You're getting Laine for the next 2 seasons after this one. The seasons when you're trying to make these steps toward competition, toward the playoffs. And he's also a perfect player for the developments of, like, that's the most important thing right now, is development of the McTavishes, Zegras, Carlsons.
That's the timeline.
He fits the timeline. Yeah, he's younger than Troy Terry is, and I just think he fits so well with. Like, he's just the missing piece, in my opinion, like that kind of player. We were all in on DeBrincat, and I think he's in a similar kind of situation where he's just going to find these open spaces in ice. He's obviously got the shot. And then, if you can, again, in a Cronin system who seems to get full effort from these guys, I think he can get the most out of Laine. So it's a move you have to make if and again, it's the cheapest he's ever going to be, but it's still going to it's not going to be like for nothing. And right now the Ducks are one of the only teams that can absorb most of his cap hit. So I think they're in a good spot. Like if Verbeek hopefully Verbeek has been on the phone with Kekalainen, because that's an opportunity that you don't want to see your GM pass up on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
God, it'd be so nice to see him in a Ducks jersey.
Would you rather trade for Patrick Laine or sign William Nylander?
Trade for Patrick Laine.
Yeah, same.
I
just wanted to see.
Nylander is awesome, but he's gonna cost $11 million probably at least
true.
for 7 years,
28.
and he's gonna be 28 in the summer. So
I want Nylander here.
So do I.
bad, but I mean, yeah, if you got to pick between
that contract's going to be nuts.
The smarter investment is going to be in Laine, but man,
Yeah.
I'm picturing Zegers, Carlson, Nylander top line, and then I mean, hey, even a Zegers, Carlson, Laine top line would be disgusting, would be filthy. I'd be happy with both. I think that would be deadly. I think either of them, but yeah, it's fun that we're actually in this. We've got where we can actually like, not to say that there's actual reports out here about this that the Ducks are actively pursuing this, but it's fun that we can actually have realistic discussions about these, maybe about moves like this maybe being a possibility.
Yeah. All right. Next one from Noah on Twitter here. Do y'all think Zegras is more focused on his defensive game this year rather than scoring? We know that was a big topic during his contract signing during the offseason.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's put a lot more focus and effort on it. And that's plain to see just by watching games, just with how good he's been in the defensive zone. He looks like a completely different player out there. And it's something that Greg Cronin has even mentioned too. Greg Cronin doesn't seem to be too worried about Zegers' lack of points in the first couple of weeks. I know he's on the IR right now, so we're not seeing him right now. So that kind of puts a little bit of a hedge in things. But yeah, I mean, it's clear as day that was something that clearly Pat Verbeek and his staff and Greg Cronin wanted to work on with Zegers, and I think we were seeing that coming to the forefront when he wasn't hurt. And yeah, it's a good thing. Like we know the kind of offensive talent that Zegers has, and kind of back to what Patrick was saying at the start of the pod. These guys are learning how to play the right way, and learning how to play a high tempo, heavy forechecking, just constantly on the other team's ass style of play. And, that's probably not something Zegers has been used to doing his last 2 or 3 NHL seasons. So, it's an adjustment period. He's 21, 22 years old. I'm sure he has this in his mind where, okay, this is something I really need to work on. So I'm sure it's at the forefront of his mind. But, like I said, we all know what Zegers can do offensively. That's not up for debate. So, hopefully when he gets back and he's fully healthy, we see both ends of it start to click.
Yeah, I don't think he's sacrificed his offensive game for defense. I think he's still generating the same chances that he was. They just,
yeah, I agree.
Puck luck hasn't been there. And,
but he's had some
defensively, he's been so awesome.
Yep.
Like little things. He's just like, he's baiting players into turnovers. It's so fun to watch him just like he's dissecting plays like he does on the offensive side, but doing it on the defensive side to win pucks back. And it's really, really fun to watch him anticipate plays and kind of get himself in position to win these pucks back and then turn up ice the other way. And then it's just been a lot of fun to watch for someone like me who's a nerd for defense. So I've like, I really, really enjoyed Zegers this season. I think it's the best version of Zegers that we've gotten. So
100%. He's looked so good since the season started, and people you're going to see people jumping on him for his lack of numbers on offense so far this season. But it's mainly going to come from people who don't watch. They're not watching the Ducks. They look at Zegers' point total and how many games he's played, and they'll jump on that. But if you actually sit and watch the games that he's played this season, he has been a completely different player. He's all over the ice. He's looked good. He has more confidence in his defensive game for sure. And it's just, I like Patrick said, this is definitely the best version we've had of him so far. And I'm excited for him to get back and to kind of keep that rolling and see what it's like when we get, towards the end of the season, how everything kind of evolves. And yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch for sure.
As Teemu Selanne always said, the ketchup will flow.
Yep.
It'll come at some point. He's been hurt. It sounds like, for what Cronin said, the current thing that he's out for was kind of plaguing him a little bit for about 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. So, probably safe to bet that the Zegers we were seeing at the beginning of the year probably wasn't even Zegers at 100%. So, to rush him back, want to see him get back fully healthy, 100% rearing to go. And yeah, I'm not worried about Zegers at all.
Same.
All right, next one from Brian on Twitter. Why am I falling asleep lately watching the Ducks? Also, why has the offense become so predictable?
I think back to what we were saying before was that just falling asleep. I mean, they're just not getting in on the forecheck like they were at the beginning of the year. I think, in my opinion, it's been a little bit of fatigue setting in. And then the offense is drying up just the same reason. Like it's tough to get up the ice when you've been in your zone for a little bit and been on the forecheck and all that. And then also it's kind of a lack of depth scoring, in my opinion. Like the successful teams in the league have 3 lines that can score. The Ducks right now have maybe 1. So I think getting healthy is one thing, and then trying to manufacture ways to get into dangerous areas is the next step.
Yeah, kind of the new kind of term amongst the league is how the competitive teams really are rolling out a top 9, kind of like you said. You have a top 9 and you have a bottom 3, right? It's no longer a top 6 and a bottom 6, and the Ducks just aren't there yet. Time will come where we can make moves to actively add to that. Like we were talking about, maybe Patrick Laine, or maybe if we want to get even crazier, William Nylander situation, like we were talking about. So it's a we already kind of touched on it. I think Patrick hit the nail on the head. It's just it's to be expected from a young team, kind of reaching that fatigue point of the season, learning a new system without the depth that we see from these really competitive teams in the league.
Yeah. So over on Instagram, VinDucky17, we've answered this one before. I want to know if any of your guys's if your answers have changed. Next, captain predictions.
Mason,
I know a lot. Yeah, I know a lot of you. Most of you have said McTavish. I know McTavish has been thrown out there, and Fowler has been thrown out there. But yeah, so Connor says McTavish.
The longer it goes without Cam Fowler, the less I think it's going to be Cam Fowler.
Yeah. I'd be shocked. Agree with that.
I'd be shocked if Cam Fowler gets a C. It'll be McTavish or Terry. I'm pretty certain it's one of those two. I think I'm a little bit partial towards McTavish, but so he would be my pick.
I think a lot of teams, when they announce their new captain, they want to pick a younger guy who can be the captain for the next at least decade. So the clear favorites right now are McTavish and Terry. If you had asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said Terry, but it seems every day that passes, it looks more and more like McTavish.
Yeah.
And we don't know what goes on in the locker room, who's the voice in that room. But just from an outsider's perspective, it's looking more and more like 23 is gonna wear the C.
Yeah, you can just kind of pick up on context clues a little bit, just kind of the way they talk about McTavish. I mean, you have Frank Vetrano going on What Chaos Pod and saying that, saying outright that Mason McTavish is a future leader of this team. I mean, I don't know how much more of an endorsement you need to see that, that probably puts him as one of the favorites to be the next captain. So I think I would put my money on McTavish.
I have a bold player.
Go
Pavel
for it.
Minchikov.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bold, but
no, it's bold.
It's a bit bold.
That's bold.
I'm not going to agree, but it's bold.
I don't know. He's the Calder winner in my opinion, as of now.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Well, I mean, what else can be said about Minchikov at this point? Like,
he's so good.
The kid's disgusting. He's already the number one defenseman on the team.
Yeah, he is pretty gross.
It's phenomenal to watch.
If you're not watching the Ducks, I don't know what you're waiting for. I mean, the last few games haven't been great, but honestly, like from an individual perspective,
he's stood out.
Like if you want to just watch, like for some of our players, go for it. Like we've got some really fun young talent going down in Anaheim right now, so it's been a lot of fun, even if we're losing some games here. But yeah, I'll have to agree. I was on the Cam Fowler train for quite a while, but as Connor said, the longer it goes on and he's not getting that C, it's kind of feeling like it's just not going to happen, which is fine. But I do agree. I think it's going to end up being McTavish, which I think is awesome. I think he would be like Patrick said, we don't know what's going on in the locker room and stuff and who really is that voice, but I can see him with the C. It just fits. I feel like it really fits him just from his interviews, the way his teammates are around him, the way people, just talk about him on the team and stuff. I can definitely see it being McTavish. That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Cam didn't wear the A in Colorado.
No, he wore it. He's worn it a decent amount of times this season, though, hasn't he?
Yes.
It was a different alternate captains in the road trip, I think.
Oh, okay.
Didn't Radko Gudas wear one?
Yeah, I think he did recently.
Yeah.
All right, this one comes from our boy Jack Janes. Go follow him on Twitter, one of our Inside the Rink writers. He said, besides Korea, what Ducks player did you want to win a cup the most with the Ducks?
Ryan Kesler.
Ryan Kesler.
Oh my God, yeah, Kesler. That would have been great.
Yeah, same.
Like I can't really think who else I would pick. I mean, Bobby Ryan, I guess, but it's like,
Cogliano would be cool.
Yeah, Cogs. Yeah,
he won one.
Great. Jonas Hiller.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller's my pick.
Miller.
Yeah, I'd say in that order, I think Kesler, Cogs, Hiller would be my top three.
I'm definitely going Kesler.
1 to 3, Kesler being number 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely Ryan Kesler.
Hiller would have been really nice too. But yeah, that's weird because my mind went straight to like the Mighty Duck era for some reason. Because I guess because Korea was brought up. But yeah, I was not even thinking Ryan Kesler. But yeah, that's an easy answer for me. It's definitely Kesler.
Stanislav Chistov.
Chistov, yeah. So Lou, you said Miller?
Won.
What?
I said if Jared Bowl would have won.
Yeah.
I would not shut up about it.
You said Miller though?
Yeah. Ryan Miller.
All right.
And Patrick, you agreed Kesler?
It's Ryan Kesler.
Or Ryan Kesler, yeah.
Good one. Sean has a good one in the chat. Ruslan Saleh.
Saleh, yeah.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Rusty.
All right. Next one from our guy Jake, our host that cannot be here. Like I stated earlier, he's in timeout because he's bullying kids.
Well, he is here.
I would come back and tell the story after you read the question.
Yes, he is here. As you can
I had been hiding this whole time.
Well, anyway, he asks, what's your guys' worst sickness-induced ick that's ruined food or a beverage for you? Mine is now Panda Express. After this weekend, I will explain when I'm on again and my voice is no longer raspy. I just like how it's Panda Express, and that's literally what Connor had before he hopped on right now.
That's why I sent the GIF I did in the chat.
Yeah.
There was a time like 3 Christmases ago, me and my cousins went to a movie on the night before Christmas Eve, so December 23rd. And we went out to the bars after, and we got Del Taco, and I got the carne asada fries, and ended up getting really sick like over the middle of the night. I'm not sure if it was the carne asada fries, but I definitely just had that, bad taste association in my mouth, literally and figuratively because of it. And so like I didn't eat Del Taco for like 6 months.
Jeez.
So before everyone else goes around, shall I share the story first? Just to provide some context.
Yeah.
Okay. So it all starts Thursday. Heather got sick before I did, and she came home early from work on Thursday. So I got home from work, kind of kept my distance, and Friday I ran around, did errands and stuff like I usually do. Had a nice day, got Chick-fil-A for lunch, was feeling great. And I got home and I had a little bit of a cough, and I was just like, oh fuck, here we go. I thought I was safe. And progressively throughout the day, I got worse and worse to the point where I was sitting on the couch with a sweatshirt on and a blanket covering me because I had the chills so bad.
Jesus.
But there was a window of time, about maybe an hour and a half before, I felt like I was going to just start convulsing on the floor, where I was like, you know what, I'm hungry again. Heather was resting, laying down, and I was like, I'm gonna order something from DoorDash. Panda sounded good. Ate it real fast and then went back to doing whatever I was doing, probably bullying children on Halo. um and like overnight felt like shit. I went to bed with the chills. But the thing was, I woke up Saturday and whatever I had definitely started as the flu and then probably turned into like some sort of sinus infection because I've been congested since.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was feeling nauseous when I woke up Saturday morning, and I kept like sometimes when you're sick and you've just been like taking a bunch of medicine and stuff, it just feels like there's constantly like something in your throat.
Yeah.
So I kept having just like that sensation. But every time I would feel like that kind of like encroaching feeling in my throat, I just could taste orange chicken still. And
Oh.
I just you do not know. I am one to not have to vomit. And I did not at all this weekend. My streak lives on having, an iron will of not being that sick. But for like a day and a half, all I could taste was orange chicken and it was terrible. I didn't eat for like a day after that. I nibbled on a piece of pita bread and I think that's all I ate into Sunday. And yeah, then I went to work yesterday and had my first like solid meal in like a day and a half or something like that. And it didn't taste like orange chicken. I was happy.
That's good. That's good.
So wild weekend here.
Yeah.
It's not been fun.
Very citrusy. You feeling a little bit better today?
Yeah, I mean, besides my voice sounding like it does,
Are you wanting to stay on for the squeak of the week?
No, because I'm doing
okay.
I'm doing enough squeaking as it is.
All right, buddy. All right, we'll let you go back to recovery.
Proceed. Now that I've grossed everybody out, I
Yes.
can go back to my mute cave.
Okay.
That's also definitely not the thing I ordered from Panda right before we hopped on, by the way. It's definitely not.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Patrick, do you have one?
Not really, but I think
No.
No, I don't.
Lou?
Probably Fireball.
Lou's answer is everything.
Everything.
Oh, Fireball. Why? Well, I mean, everyone's got a Fireball story.
Probably Fireball.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually valid.
Just the smell of it makes me want to yak.
Yeah, I get war flashbacks whenever I smell it.
I'm trying to picture Chris off Fireball right now.
Dude, it was my 21st. I was living in North Carolina at the time. My buddy took me to Chapel Hill.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It wasn't great. We decided we were just stupid. We were watching the Hurricanes game before we went out to the bars, and we wanted to play this game where every shot on goal at the Hurricanes registered. We took a shot of Fireball.
God.
We didn't get through the first period because by the time the first period was almost over, they were already at like maybe 19 shots.
Oh my God.
I'm always, you guys know, I'm always down to get after it, but I don't even know about that.
Yeah, and then not only that was just the starter too. Like we went to the bar after. Went to the bar after and got more Fireball at the bar. And it wasn't great, man. It wasn't great. I remember getting in I don't remember how I got home. We didn't drive. We took like a Lyft there, and then I think our friend, like one of his friends, took us back. I remember vomiting somewhere. I don't know where. And then I remember going to Jimmy John's the next day, and I was like falling asleep at the table because I was so hungover. I was just like sandwich in my hand, just passing out. But anyway, it's not Fireball for me. It's not the worst one. Mine is it's random. It's like I was having chips and salsa one day, and I decided to have Tostitos, and they were black bean and garlic Tostitos, which are good. They were decent, and I had them with salsa, but like right after I got done eating, I don't know if it was this weird timing, but I was probably so sick and I was throwing up, and now anytime I see that bag or just like smell those Tostitos, it makes me want to vomit everywhere. So it's definitely the black bean garlic Tostitos. I hope they don't make them anymore. I don't see them and like ever, so that's a good thing.
All right, should we move on from grossing people out?
Yes.
Yep, mouse time. Yeah, let's get squeaking. All right. This is from our pal Ryan. He says, "Can someone shut Mariah Carey up? I know everyone will be asking Thanksgiving questions, but my goodness, why is no one asking the real questions? We got to know what the pod's thoughts are on which pasta dish the top 4 Ducks scorers are comparable to."
Does he mean goals or points?
This is top
Should we go
4 Ducks
points?
scores. Let's go points.
Probably points.
All right, I'll pull it up right here.
Well, Frank Vitrano's spaghetti and meatballs.
Spicy meatballs.
Yeah, spicy.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Vitrano 1, McTavish 2, Strome 3, Terry 4.
Terry's 4.
Fowler and Chikov tied for 5th.
So Frank Vitrano,
I think
it's a spicy meatball.
So do you guys eat cacio e pepe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's that just because it's like that spiciness. He's like, it's like a new fun pasta dish that everyone loves. And I think I think that's him. He's just gonna like pop you in the mouth and you're gonna have a good time.
I'll say Frank Vitrano bolognese. Tavish, cacio pepe, Ryan Strome, just spaghetti noodles with butter.
Okay. Okay.
Troy Terry just strikes me as just a regular spaghetti and meatballs guy. Like very basic, very plain. Ryan Strome strikes me as the guy that like just gets like hamburger, meat and bun only type of deal.
I feel like Terry would be like a pesto pasta.
Ooh, I love me a pesto.
There we
go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't get loose started.
Yeah, we won't start with that.
We're gonna say Gibson is a lasagna because it looks like a wall.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Gibson's a lasagna. It's like how he came back from he had to unmute himself for that one.
Hey, I gotta pick and choose my battles here.
That's true. All right.
What would Radko Gudis be?
That's bolognese.
Raw bear meat.
Yeah.
Just
bear meat tartare.
Raw bear meat. All right. That's it. We're all done.
He's like the hockey version of the Liver King.
Yeah. He is the Liver King.
Yeah.
I mean, Brent Burns is also kind of that way.
No, Radko Gudis is more.
No, I'd say Brent Burns is probably a little bit more.
Oh,
Brent Burns he's got like, doesn't he own like a zebra or something? I don't know. He's got
No, he's like the Joe Rogan type. Like he shoots and kills his own meat. Like, chops up the elk himself. I think he does shit like that.
He's a crazy guy. But yeah, that's it from us. Episode 63, all done here.
Hell yeah.
The Rivals podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening.
Whenever you're listening
to this, happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the United States. I know Canada, you already had it last month.
Happy Black Friday to those who celebrate that.
Good luck to everyone on Black Friday. Don't be stupid. Don't hurt people over electronics. It's really
When was
dumb.
the last time you went shopping on Black Friday?
I haven't. I don't go.
It's been years for me. I do all my shopping online now.
I'm not going to put myself through that. That's just too wild. But yeah, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow Late Arrivals Pod everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us and subscribe on Twitch if you haven't already. Inside the Rink, follow them everywhere as well. Wherever you can find Late Arrivals Podcast, you can find Inside the Rink. Specifically, follow and subscribe to their YouTube channel. You can find all of our podcast episodes over there in video form if you don't want to listen and you want to, for some reason, see all of our faces. You can subscribe to their YouTube, please. Like all of our videos. All over our social media, you can find our link tree, which will send you. We'll give you all these different ways you can get some of our merch. And if you want to donate to the show, we have you could buy us a cup of coffee. You can do that. There's a link in there as well for that. So yeah, just kind of get lost in all of our stuff. There's plenty to look at, and there's plenty of merch to look at. And that's all from us. We'll see you next week sometime. I'll probably announce when we're recording at some point in the next 5-6 days. But yeah, episode 64 next week. We will see you then. Good night.
Merry Christmas to one and all.
Nothing is mid.